Now, what else could we do with merging queries? Well, as I said, you can also merge the queries as new. You remember a few videos ago we had this group by. So I created a new query based on this original query. So I am managing and in this case I'll duplicate. And then I'm going to group by, and I'm going to group by the CD type, and I'm going to count how many rows there are in each. So similar sort of thing to what we've just seen in our visualization. What I'm going to do now is introduce this count into our original query by merging it. So we merge this query, and I'll merge it as new just to show you that you can have a new query at the end of it. So it's merging this CDs with CDs2. Obviously I could change the name. And I'm doing a left outer join. I'm selecting which particular columns I want. Expand the table. I just want the count. So we can see that there are 351 samplers, 68 opera, and so forth. So if you wanted to use that information to say, well, what proportion, what percentage of samplers is this one particular row, then you can see it's 1 divided by 351 multiplied by 100%. Now I'm just going to remove this. And I'm going to change this CD categorization from CD categorization to CD categorization short, which only contains 2 lines of detail. And the reason I'm doing this is just to demonstrate the various different types of joins. So if I change this, the navigation, we're going to change from CD categorization to CD categorization short. So there's my end table. So at the moment we have lots of nulls. So we only have not nulls for these very first 2 items, the path and the CD type. And I'm just going to select path and CD type. And I'm just going to remove all other columns, just so we can see what's there. So this is a left join. So it's taking all from the first table and just those that exist in the second table. A right join will take all of those which exist in the first table and all of those which only those which match in the second table. So you can see my first table is now down to 35 rows because it's only these 2 paths which exist in my first table. So this explanation might just be a bit simpler if we call these tables A and B. So a left outer join is all of those in table A and where they match in B, which happens to be all of the albums, so there's 52 albums there. B, a right outer join, is all those in B and all those in A, which happen to match. So what I'm going to do actually is put in a third album. So this one is a non-existent album, and who knows what the CD type is, so I'll just save that. And I'm going to refresh my data. So my right join contains all 3 of my rows in CD type, and only the data which exists in A. Now, so in other words, it is this section here. Now, a full outer join is both. It's all rows from both. So we've got the entirety of table A, and if I scroll to the very bottom, it's still within this preview, we will also have this who knows from B. So that's a full outer join. So that's why you don't want any particular data at all to be deleted. An inner join is just where they match. So you can see this matches 35 rows for table A and just 2 rows from table B. So it won't match the who knows because that exists in table B but doesn't exist in table A. And then we have a look at the anti-joins, and this removes what's in table B. So this will exclude the 35 rows that is initially there. So anything in table B has now been removed. As I say, the vast majority of the time you will be using a left outer join, which contains your original data, plus anything that matches in the new data. You'll be using a full outer join where you don't want any of the data to be lost, and you'll be using an inner which just gets the bit in the middle where A and B overlap. So, merge queries. We have created a new query, we have merged it, or we've imported it from another data source, or we've used a group by to create a new query. We have merged it together by selecting the columns that we want to merge it with, and we have used the various type of joins so that we get the information back that we want. And then we expanded the tables to get us just the columns from the new table, table B, that we want. So it might sound a bit complicated, but just know merge queries gets information into a query from another query.